I was the skinny kid my entire life. Chicken legs, skinny as a stick, beanpole. And yeah, I mean, I didn't mind being tall, but I hated being skinny. So I did what everyone else tells you to do: lift more, eat more, just bulk. And then at 19 years old, as a collegiate athlete, my body did something that made no sense whatsoever. I lost 30 pounds in about a month or two because my body literally couldn't use the food that I was eating. See, it turns out gaining weight isn't always just calories and discipline. Sometimes there's something deeper going on. And today, I'm going to show you both: the real system to gain muscle and the hidden reasons it can be so hard, so you don't waste years blaming yourself like I did. And if you're new here, my name's Matt. I'm a certified master fitness trainer and nutritionist. I'm a seven-figure business owner and globally ranked Ironman athlete, here to chat about how to make reasonable, balanced improvements for your future self. Now, I was tall and skinny. I got very tall. I kept growing until I was like 25. And I was very self conscious about it growing up, like straight up embarrassed about the skinny piece of it. And I'd get pushed around on the football field and on the soccer field, on any field that I decided to join. I was into sports, really enjoyed it, but doesn't help when you lack muscle tissue, right? And it's not just about looks, it's about how it makes you feel. Like, full transparency, I was bullied as a kid, kind of a lot. So in high school, I tried to figure out the weight gain piece, the puzzle, right? I took the weight room gym class. I tried to train harder, but no matter what I did, I couldn't put weight on. And if you've ever been the person who eats a ton and stays skinny, I've been talking like 3 servings of pasta and you lose weight. You know the frustration, right? People say, "Oh, it must be nice. You get to eat burgers and pizza and like you don't gain any fat." Like, yeah, but I don't gain muscle either. And what they don't understand is that sometimes you don't feel lucky. You feel stuck. You kind of lose hope, and it's an insecurity thing in some cases too, for being real. And then it felt like life straight up said, "Oh, you think this is hard? Watch this." The month or two before my life changing diagnosis, I had 2 symptoms. And I want to talk about this before I even tell you what it is. See if you can guess. I was constantly thirsty. And I mean multiple gallons of water per day, like 2, 3, sometimes 4 gallons of water. I was peeing nonstop. I thought, I'm an athlete. I'm training. I'm probably just dehydrated, right? Like this, maybe this is what collegiate athletes go through. They're just thirsty all the time. Or maybe I had a UTI, right? So I go to the doctor thinking I'm just going to get antibiotics, and I come back with a diagnosis of type 1 diabetes. My blood sugar was over 1,000. And for reference, a normal fasting blood sugar for a healthy person is roughly 70 to 90 in the morning. Over 1,000 is near death. And I genuinely believe, as a collegiate athlete, rowing might have helped keep me alive longer, because exercise was burning glucose, just obviously not fast enough. In the absence of a functioning pancreas, it's going to catch up to you. Also, the night before I got diagnosed, I won a pancake eating contest. I told one of the guys, "I don't know if this is a good idea. Apparently, I might have diabetes." And in a fraternity, right? Christian fraternity, they laugh. They're like, "Dude, there's no chance." And I believed them. And I won the contest. Then I walked to the doctor the next day with a blood sugar over 1,000. This is why you don't ignore symptoms, right? And here's why that story matters if you're trying to gain weight. When blood sugar is extremely high, like in untreated type 1 diabetes, your body can't use glucose properly. So instead of storing fuel and building tissue, all the food that I was eating, and keep in mind, I was eating a full foot-long Subway sandwich and then getting Chipotle for a single meal, right? I was eating a ton. So instead of storing all that fuel and building the muscle that I was working so hard for in the gym, you're basically losing it. Your body starts dumping glucose through urine, which is why I was peeing so often, right? My blood sugar was so high, my blood was thick, that I was so thirsty. And it turns out everything happens for a reason, right? The symptoms exist for a reason. You're eating, but your body isn't actually banking those calories the way you think. That's why I dropped 30 pounds so fast in like a month or two before my diagnosis. And that's also why when I started taking insulin, which is what a non-diabetic already has in production, I gained it back so quickly, right? Because now the fuel could actually get into my cells. And so just real quick physiology lesson. When you eat food, insulin is released from your pancreas if you have a functioning pancreas. I do not. And that insulin is what transports the food into energy into your cells. So it transports glucose into your cells for storage. It can be stored in one of three places. Your blood glucose is the transport, gets stored in your liver, your muscles, and your fat. So if you've worked out recently, goes to your muscles. If you haven't worked out recently, goes to fat tissue. That's why it's important to work out so that the food that you do eat gets stored in the right places and to not eat too much, because if you eat 10,000 calories, well, your muscles can only store so much. Even if you've worked out super hard, some of it's going to get stored as fat, also known as a dirty bulk, right? But we'll get into those later. And this is the part that I would say changes everything too for me. Sometimes gaining weight is hard because you're not eating enough. That's actually true. And for full context, I'll get into this later, but I had to eat over 5,000 calories when I did finally start to gain weight. But sometimes it's also hard because your body isn't processing what you eat the way it should. And quick note, I'm not diagnosing you through a screen, right? If you're having symptoms like extreme thirst, unexplained weight loss, fatigue, get medical help. I ignored it for like a month or two. I'll figure it out. Get help, right? And just get an opinion at the very least, second opinion. And this is not about awareness, or I would say it is more about awareness, not self-diagnosis. Now, fast forward, once I finally got my blood sugars under control, I had a goal that I wanted to hit with my weight. I wanted to be 200 pounds, mostly because I thought even numbers looked cool. I wanted to be able to say I was 2 meters tall and 200 pounds. It sounds cool. It's got a nice ring to it, right? But to do it, I had to eat about 5,500 calories a day and train like a monster. And I'll be honest, that was months of grueling effort. Stomach aches from being too full, eating 5 meals a day, feeling full all the time, like forcing meals. But I cracked the code. I did it, right? And here's the practical blueprint that I'll give you guys. It's straightforward. It's simple. Does not mean it's easy, but this is the equation. All right. Lever number one, a consistent caloric surplus. Not sometimes, not when you remember, consistent, disciplined, non-negotiable. If you're not feeding your muscles, they're not going to grow. Let's just be real. Lever number two, progressive strength training, also known as progressive overload. What this means is that you are constantly challenging your muscles. If you typically bench 100 pounds and you continue benching 100 pounds forever, you're not going to get stronger. You're not telling your muscles they need to grow. You're not breaking down muscle tissue. They will not grow. You have to challenge yourself. Now, the key here is finding the balance between making it hard enough to challenge and create growth, break down the muscle tissue, but not so hard that you sacrifice form and injure yourself, because then you can't work out, right? So only you know that sweet spot. Find the sweet spot where I can challenge myself. It is the most that I can do without hurting myself, without sacrificing form. Okay? Don't get hurt. If you get hurt, it's done. You got to take a break, and then it sucks, and you backtrack, right? Now, with progressive strength training, your body needs a reason to turn calories, extra calories, into muscle. So you challenge them, they grow. We'll keep it simple. I won't get into the science behind it. Lever number three, recovery. This one's often ignored, especially for people who are in their teens and 20s. I laugh because I did it too, all right? You work out super hard, you're eating all the right food, and then you go out and party for the night. How's your body supposed to recover if you're poisoning it with alcohol or drugs or not sleeping or stress? Come on. You got to set yourself up for success here. Lever number three is recovery. So if you're undersleeping, overstressed, or under recovering, especially if you're stacking really hard workouts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you got to cycle through this stuff. You can't just push yourself to the max every day. That's a recipe for injury. Hello, currently injured. I had to pull out of my last Ironman race because I cannot run. My foot is screwed up because I kept overtraining. It's a thing. You can't exist on either end of the polar opposites. Undertraining, you won't grow. Overtraining, you get hurt. It's about finding the balance, the sweet spot. All right. Like your body won't build the way you want if you don't find that sweet spot. That's the piece that I want you to understand. Now, the tactics that actually make this doable. Tactical step number 1, make calories easier. Think liquid calories, dense calories. Like if you were to eat 1,000 calories worth of salad, you're not getting past a couple hundred calories before you're full, right? Because you've got like 2 calories per bite. Now, if you eat 1,000 calories of cheesecake, it's like a quarter of the cheesecake. Like you won't get very far because those calories add up a lot faster. You're getting 20, I was gonna say 20 carbs. So like 100 to 200 calories per bite in some cases, right? So if you're trying to eat more, think about what are the foods that I can consume that are more dense in calories, more calories per bite. And I break down the science behind it briefly. Carbs and proteins have 4 calories per gram. Fat has 9 calories per gram. If you're just trying to squeeze in extra calories, fat is the easiest way to do that because per bite you get more calories. However, I would argue that if you want dense muscle tissue, I would go for complex carbohydrates and proteins. Typically lower fat's the way to go. All right. So easier to get calories through fat, but doesn't mean that they're the best route for building muscle. Okay. So step 1, make calories easier. I used to drink a gallon smoothie that I just dumped oats into and peanut butter and Greek yogurt and all this nasty stuff. It basically tasted like cement, but I knew if I finished this smoothie, I think it was 1,200 calories for the smoothie. And you just drink it. Drinking is way easier. This is also why people gain weight unexpectedly when they drink all their calories through Starbucks, right? You go into Starbucks, you order your fancy mocha latte, frappuccino, whatever, and it's got 1,000 calories in it. And you're thinking, how did that happen? Well, it's because it's a liquid. You can sip on it, and they've got fat and sugar in there. It adds up quick, but a little cheat code for you skinny guys out there like me. All right. So tactical step number 1, make it easy. If you're skinny and you can't eat enough, the answer is no, is just to try harder. Oh, just eat more. Just eat more. It's like, well, let's eat more of the right stuff. It's make the calories easier to consume. So again, like smoothies, shakes, you can have some fun with it. Go have a milkshake. But underneath calories, I would also want you to look at your macronutrient quality. Like what is the buildup of the meal? Is it high in fat and that's why it's high in calories? Or are these quality as well? Okay. And then think of it, if you are looking at fat, there are healthier fats, there are less healthy fats, olive oil, nut butters. Now on the carb side of things, rice and potatoes, those are pretty solid. Looking at heavier, fattier proteins can be helpful for hitting calorie goals, but I like the idea of the 3 T's for lean proteins: tuna, tilapia, and turkey. I almost forgot that. So different ways to hit it. And obviously I'm skimming through this just to get you some tips to get you moving in the right direction. If you guys want more of this though, drop your specific questions and I'll see if I can compile them to make a video about it. Now, within this make calories easier thing, I want you just to keep that in your mind. Is it enjoyable? Is it sustainable? How can I make this easier on myself? Now, tactical step number 2, track temporarily, at least until you learn your baseline. Okay, so most skinny people underestimate intake, even disciplined people. I thought for sure I was hitting my calorie goals. Then I tracked for a couple of days and was like, I'm 1,000 calories short. How did that happen? And we just assume, right? And same thing happens for people who are trying to lose weight. Oh, I'm probably around the right calories. Then they track it and they're like, oh, yeah, it turns out a scoop of peanut butter has way more calories than I thought. And I have 5 scoops per day. Or that extra handful of almonds that you grabbed, extra calories. You gotta track, all right? And track for like 7 to 14 days. Learn your real numbers, then adjust. Tactical step number 3, train for stimulus, not fatigue. You don't need to annihilate yourself daily. You're probably not training for Olympia. Okay. It's like, take it slow. Progressive overload, not instant overload. And because of that, your results will compound. You'll build consistent volume. You'll see measurable progression that feels sustainable, and you can do so without injury. That's the important part. Like, I've gotten injured quite a few times, and it derails your progress. Trust me on this. Now, if your workouts feel like chaos, your results are going to look like chaos too. All right, now let's talk about why weight gain can be hard, even if you do everything right. And this is where people get stuck. They start calling themselves broken or blame metabolism or body type. There's something to that, and I will get to it. But I want to give you a few under the surface reasons, just quick and practical. So, one, obviously, type 1 diabetes or poorly controlled blood sugar. So that you might not have diabetes. I mean, you might have prediabetes and not know it, pretty common, but you might just have wacky blood sugars because you're drinking sodas. Not good for you. Stop drinking soda, please. Just, it's not good for anybody. But understand that the more balanced your blood sugars are, the better your system will operate. Okay. Number two, thyroid disorders, especially hyperthyroidism, can drive weight loss and make it really difficult to put on weight. If that's the case, go see a professional. Get it taken care of. Number three, gut absorption issues. Your body can't absorb what you eat effectively. Type 1 diabetes obviously has an effect on this, but we've also got things like SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, your gut microbiome imbalances, bad bacteria taking over, leaky gut, a lot of different things that can affect on this. And I need you to consider your overall health above your fitness goals. And if you do so, your fitness goals will just slide right in nice and neat. Number four, chronic stress and poor sleep. This is your recovery and your appetite get crushed, right? Chronic stress, it sneaks up on you. It really does. And chronic just means this baseline is maintained. You never get a chance to relax. If your nervous system doesn't chill out, the rest of your system is running on high alert. It's not going to work. You're not going to put on muscle because your body is in fight or flight, all right? Those are some bigger issues we'll tackle in a different video, though. Another one is NEAT, or high activity, right? So some people burn thousands of calories extra just by moving more. I work privately with people and I coach them. And I've had some clients who they'll walk 20,000 steps a day. I'm like, dude, I get like 8,000 on a good day. Usually it's like 6. If you're moving nonstop, you have to make up for that with extra food or stop moving so much. I mean, some of you, it's your job, but understand that every calorie burned has to be accounted for and replaced with a calorie consumed. So if you're very active at your job or just very active in general, like when I was training for my Ironman, holy moly, I'd look at my watch at the end of the day. It would tell me that I had burned thousands and thousands of calories on top of my baseline. Oh, goodness. It's ridiculous, right? So thinking about that, are you generally a very active person? You got to make up for that. Not that you can't be. I love it. Movement is medicine. It's one of the best things for you. It's a natural antidepressant, strengthens bones and muscles, and it helps your mental health. All this stuff's amazing. But if you're trying to gain weight, that's part of the equation. You have to make up for it. And honestly, number 5 or 6, where we're at, body type. Yes, okay, there is something to be said about genetics. It's a thing, right? But I'd rather ask, so what? Or what now? I'm a skinny kid. That's my genetics. Great. Are you going to give up or are you going to do something about it? Well, it's just harder for me. So, yeah. I mean, is that the end for you then? When life gets hard, you give up? Or are you going to do it anyways? This isn't about giving you excuses. I want to make sure you know what else is out there. You might think, oh, it's just my body type. And then you find out you have hyperthyroidism. Huh. Okay, yeah, body type, genetics, sure. But like there's something we can do about it now. Or at the very least, give me direction. It's about making sure you're not fighting an invisible enemy, right? And if you're doing the basics consistently and nothing changes, you don't double down on self-hate. You get curious. Why isn't it working? Why is this so difficult? Because when you get curious, you can look for the root cause. You get data. You talk to professionals. You figure it out. And if you do have a diagnosis does not equal defeat. I mentioned this earlier, but years later, I took on a bigger challenge, becoming an Ironman. What? That was never on my bingo card. That's crazy. And this wasn't about fitness. It was about mental fortitude. I'll be honest with you, type 1 diabetes, it's kind of crazy. If you don't know much about it, know that it's a lot more nuts than what people show on the TV shows and the internet. It's like every day I'm constantly fighting for my life. And it's that my body is driving me towards a constant state of deterioration and death. If I ever just neutral effort, stop trying, just like had a day where I hung out and did nothing, I'd end up in the hospital if I didn't take care of myself. That's insane. So the transparent part here is I am still quite nervous about low blood sugars, or was. I'm still nervous about them, though. After almost dying a few times from them, it kind of stacks up on you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is risky stuff," right? And endurance training, especially ultra endurance training, is one of the biggest threats. There's a point where your blood sugars can drop so fast, it won't come up fast enough no matter how much you eat. And that can be lethal. So, why did I do that? Because I needed to prove something that I had cracked the code, not just to manage type 1, but to master it. So, proving it to myself, but also to my client base. But honestly, also because it scared me. I would suggest you let fear be your compass. Oftentimes, things that we're scared of, we're just scared because it's an unknown. We just don't know what to expect yet, so we stay away from it. Or because it's the thing that would cause growth. Growth is uncomfortable and leads to uncertainty. But we want to grow. Our muscles, yes, but also ourselves. So if we want to grow ourselves, but growth is uncomfortable, you have to learn to lean into discomfort, to lean into fear. So I completed all 4 California Ironman events to complete the California circuit. There's 3 half Ironmans and 1 full. And in my first year going through the events, I ranked in the top 17% globally among athletes in the most competitive age group. And it's not me trying to flex or show off. It's a message to others just as much as myself that your limitations can change the path, but they don't have to define the destination. A type 1 diabetic should not do an Ironman event. Does that mean I have to stop? No. A skinny person should not get to 200 pounds. Does that mean that I had to stop? No. And during that Ironman era, my weight dropped to about 165, which is nuts. But I know a lot of you know this as well. The second you stop eating and training, you lose the calories. Our metabolism is too strong, right? I dropped to 165. When I stopped the Ironman training, over about 8 months, I rebuilt back to 200 pounds. It's about 35 pounds gained again. And maybe 5 pounds of that was bonus. But I'm healthy, I'm strong, and I'm in control. I feel good again. Now, I want to say something that most fitness videos won't, because I care about you. The most important question in weight gain or weight loss isn't what plan should I follow? It's this. Why is this important to you? If I'm being totally honest, I wanted to gain muscle because I was insecure. And it didn't even help my modeling career. I didn't mention that yet, but I used to do modeling and acting. I was quite successful, made it to the top 5% of the entire industry. And putting muscle on didn't help my modeling career. It actually hurt it. I couldn't fit into the clothes when I got to 200 pounds. I lost out on a contract, like $50,000, because I changed my body. And I still couldn't let it go because the goal wasn't health. It was identity. It was proving something. It was trying to establish worth because I didn't feel good enough if I was skinny. Just being real with you. And this probably doesn't sound like it's going to resonate to all of you, but I know some of you are like me in that there is some level of insecurity. I felt that if I got muscles, I wouldn't be the same kid that got bullied. So ask yourself, why do you want to gain weight? Why do you want to lose weight? Cut, bulk, get fit, get shredded, whatever. What do you think that body will finally give you? And it's okay to have a reason and to do it anyways, whether it's pure or not. You might want to get a better body so you can get strong enough to carry your kids. I've got a little girl now, and man, I love that I'm able to throw her in the air and wrestle and be healthy and go for runs with her. Sometimes getting fit is less pure, and it is about insecurity. I've also been there. Sometimes the best transformation, though, isn't in your body. It's your relationship with yourself. Oh, he's getting all woo. Just listen up. It's on the inside. It's in your mind. Your body will deteriorate over time. It will have a decline. Our natural state that we are returning to as we age is death. Gonna have to get used to that idea. But we can do everything in our power in the meantime to maintain our physical abilities, yes. But your mind is what you should prioritize first, because without your mind, you'll never exist in a state of happiness or joy or contentment. Now, I want you to avoid complacency, but think about contentment. Where would you be content with your body? Where do you cross the finish line? Because if you're trying to solve for insecurity, I can tell you this from a personal place: getting to 200 pounds or getting to bench, I don't know, 275 or whatever your goals are, that doesn't fix the insecurity. Body dysmorphia, you heard about that? You've seen the people who want to lose weight and they turn anorexic, people who want to gain muscle and they just can't stop. It's in your head. So if you don't know why you're doing it, start there. And I want to give you a message if you're struggling with this. Genetics influence your starting point. They do not decide your ending point. And labels or a new diagnosis, type 1 diabetes, thyroid issues, I'm just skinny, I'm just big boned, they're information, not identity. Your body is a reflection of your priorities, your habits, your consistency, whether you like it or not. If you're not happy with your body, do something about it. If you are happy, own that too. You earned it. Because everything you do, every action that you take is a vote for the person your future self becomes. So don't ask, why can't I? Ask, how do I make this work anyway? Limitations change the path, not the destination. And if you want, I can make a part 2 where I break down the exact weight gain system, the meals, the training splits, what are the types of workouts, and how to do it without getting fat. Either way, let me know in the comments. And I do truly hope that you found this helpful. Stop looking for excuses. Avoid complacency like the plague. And get after it.